With the Citi Double Cash Card, you get 1% cash back when you buy and 1% as you pay. That's like the joy of getting 2 W's on the road or catching the home run ball without spilling your drink. Double boom. Double the love with the Citi Double Cash Card. Apply now at Citi.com/doublecash.
Time to check in with MRL's leading football expert, Cian Fahey.
Alex Smith is the guy who has a wide receiver wide open in the end zone and will run straight out of bounds to take a sack because he's in field goal range.
For more of his work, visit presnapritz.com.
You can't predict yak.
Cheerios, mate, Cheerios.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance, comparing rates to help you save. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today and find out how much Progressive could save you. Cian Fahey going to join us in just a second here on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. I'll take your phone calls, 786-456-4837. Here's your SportsCenter update. The Philadelphia 76ers have traded Jahlil Okafor to the Brooklyn Nets for Trevor Booker. The Miami Marlins, have traded second baseman Dee Gordon to the Seattle Mariners for 3 prospects and cash. And finally, Snoop Dogg once tried to rent the entire country of Liechtenstein for a video shoot, and the main reason they said no is because he didn't give them enough notice. At the time, in 2011, anyone could rent the entire country for just $70,000 a night, which included customized street signs, temporary currency, and accommodation for 150 guests.
That's a great night.
Have the show Christmas party there.
Can we do that? You said something about you used to be able to do that. You can't do it anymore, right?
I don't know what the going rate is. This is back in 2011.
Can we try, Mike? Look,
you want to call Liechtenstein?
Yeah. Let's see if we can rent it for the show for a day.
I'm going to do that.
Marlins parade is ruined. Just funnel the funds over to Liechtenstein.
Right, that's right.
For all the latest headlines and information, tune in the SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
So Cian Fahey is here to talk football. If you want to talk to him, the telephone number is 786-456-4837. The pass that Drew Brees made last night, I feel like he's always trying to throw into those windows, and that all these guys are always trying to throw into these windows at these tight ends where guys aren't actually open. What did you see there at the end of that game?
Okay, so the reason you do that, if you go to the Matt Ryan interception in the end zone to Julio Jones, when he releases that ball, the defensive back is looking at Julio Jones. So he thinks he throws that ball into a tight window, but it's not really a tight window because the defensive back can't see the ball. So it was the same situation. Actually, on that Ryan interception, it was a bad throw. It was just underthrown. If he had actually pushed it further, Julio would have had a chance. But on the Breeze interception, Josh Hill was the tight end. He did not run a great route, and the reason he didn't run a great route is he didn't push upfield enough on the outside shoulder of the defender. And you need to do that to turn the defender's head and force him to turn with you. And Deion Jones never had to turn. It was still a terrible throw by Breeze. And Breeze quietly has not had a great year this year because they've been able to rely on Kamara and rely on Ingram. And he's made a lot of throws like that. He made one on Sunday against the Panthers where he threw the ball straight to a defender when they were winning by 14.
That's what aging is supposed to look like unless you're Tom Brady.
Well, it looked like it for Tom Brady for a while, too, and then you made a fool of yourself and he came back.
That's right. That's exactly how that happened. You chronicled that correctly.
You had Brady done 7 years ago.
That's right.
Did it as well,
that's right. Chiefs. I remember the game distinctly. I remember where I was. They lost by 1,000,000 points against the Chiefs. I remember where I was. There it is. It's done. What's it been? 7 championships since then?
Multiple Super Bowls, multiple
Super Bowl
MVPs since then.
Yeah, he's in the conversation again this year.
Yep, good call. Cian, what's the difference between Matt Ryan this season and Matt Ryan a year ago?
Okay, it's a really boring answer. It's a really crappy answer, but a lot of luck. He had an interception last night that wasn't his fault. He had a couple that were caught that were his fault. Last year, he had 20, in my charting, he had 22% of his interceptable passes were actually caught by defenders. No one else was above or was below 25%, and most people were about 45%. So that's the biggest difference. There's also, they call it Shanahan factor. There's wide receivers dropping more passes than they did last year. So it's a combination of a lot of things.
That's not a boring answer, though. I think that's a great answer.
Yes.
I think most people just say, Shanahan's not there. But what I'm doing, when I'm watching yesterday, Cian, I'm seeing a dude that when he's most panicked, he just lobs the ball to wherever Julio is and says, you figure it out. And that's not what I want from my quarterback.
But that's the beauty of Shanahan's offense. In Shanahan's offense, everything's very clearly defined. He doesn't have to just drop back and manage the pocket and try and figure a bunch of things out as he's doing it.
What do you do with the Philadelphia result last week? You have been unpopular, right? Because you are not praising Carson Wentz as much as most people are praising Carson Wentz.
I'm always unpopular, Dan. I don't take a huge amount from it because no other team is going to be able to replicate what the Seahawks defensive front did. The Seahawks defensive front, even with Cam Chancellor out, with Richard Sherman out, that's on the back end. On the front side of that defense, they've got a huge amount of speed with Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright, Michael Bennett, Sheldon Richardson, who's a ridiculous player who should never have been allowed go to that team. It was just unfair advantage at this point. But they play with such speed and discipline that they can contain that running game while also reacting to the option plays where they stretch the defense horizontally. Maybe the Minnesota Vikings will be able to do it. Maybe the Rams might have a chance of doing it, but they're very inconsistent. You need to get them on a good day. But besides the Seahawks and the Vikings, it's hard to think of anyone else replicating that and putting the Eagles in a position where the quarterback has to play in uncomfortable situations.
All right, be honest here, because remember, you're talking to me. So just pretend you're just talking to me, and I don't care about these things. You are in your living room watching the Eagles lose, watching Wentz not playing so well, and you were cheering that, right?
I'm pretty sure I was in a bar with a mean that day, so I wasn't even watching it.
But you were happy when you saw the result and saw that he didn't play well, right?
No, I don't care, man. I don't care. I'm going to get crap from people no matter what. Am I allowed to say that on the radio? Either way. I'm going to get stuff from people either way, because if Russell Wilson has a great game, there's people who think I hate Russell Wilson as well, so it's the same to me.
I mean, we know that you hate Wentz, so that's why it's different. Okay, so Goff and the Rams. What are you seeing from Goff? What's the biggest difference in his game this year from last year that's allowing him to be more successful?
Well, he's taken a step forward. He was like, all the criticism he got as a rookie, and you can, like, it wasn't me, it was I was criticizing him, but there was loads of people criticizing him. He deserved all of that. Like, there were literally plays where he threw the ball and it kind of dribbled forward. It wasn't anywhere near a wide open receiver. This year he's taken a big step. He's gone from being maybe the worst, well, actually, there's no maybe about it. He was the worst quarterback in the league last year. Him and Blake Bortles were down there together, and with Tom Savage when he played as well. He's jumped up to probably the 20th, 19th, 18th, around that area. But then you've got that Sean McVay offense, and I don't want to focus on Sean McVay because everyone talks about Sean McVay. I assume you've heard about the audibling part of that Sean McVay does.
Well, I was just going to ask you guys. I was going to ask you and let me explain this to the audience. So they've got this new helmet thing. They've got a rule, right, Stugotz, where you can they turn off the mics in your helmet within a certain amount of time.
15 seconds.
Within 15 seconds. And what McDermott's been doing is he's been getting the McVay, excuse me, that is a fine.
Yeah, Cian called you out for it. Good job, Cian.
That's a fine.
That. All right, well, you explain it, Cian. I'm going to go ahead and pay this fine. You go ahead and explain what I was trying to explain.
Okay, so Sean McVay, it's not a new rule. It's the same rule. The headsets and the helmets come off at the 15-second mark. And what Sean McVay is doing is getting his offense to the line at about 21, 22 seconds. So Sean McVay is then the one calling the actual audibles for Jared Goff. Jared Goff doesn't have to make the pre-snap reads. Then the other thing that's kind of not mentioned here, he's got John Sullivan at center, who's a very old center who was cut from the Minnesota Vikings because he wasn't healthy. But he's played a lot of football. And I have a suspicion, and it's something I want to find out. I haven't actually got an answer from anyone who have asked yet. I wonder how much of a role he's playing in setting protections. Because if you now have the coach calling the audibles and the center setting the protections, the mental side of the game for Goff is limited to basically reacting to anything that changes after the ball is snapped.
That's interesting.
I love that.
That is interesting. Like that's why
simplify
it. No, and people are saying that they're getting around the rules or the spirit of the rules by doing all this stuff. But it does sound like they are protecting Goff like no other quarterback's being actually protected.
But you see, the thing is, teams are going to catch on to this as well. The Minnesota Vikings were able to catch on to it because if you know they're coming to the line and they're going to judge what you do at the 16-second mark, and then the quarterback is all the responsibility, you show him one thing and then you show him something completely different at 14 seconds, and he comes into your trap.
But they haven't figured that out yet, and this story has been in the news stream for a couple of weeks.
Oh, the Vikings shut them down. They scored a touchdown on the opening drive, scripted plays from McVay, and then after that they shut Goff down completely.
So do you think that Goff and the Rams will have significantly less success if teams pick up on that? Or is it something where McVay then says, all right, we need to have more set plays that are called before that 14-second mark?
But that's why I didn't want to just start and just say McVay, because it's also the offense around him is really talented. We're in this position where we say McVay is doing something that Jeff Fisher didn't do. And you can blame Jeff Fisher for the team he created, but if you just take the actual pieces that were there last year and compare them to this year, it's completely different. Andrew Whitworth, John Sullivan, like I said, but then the receiving core, Gerald Everett at tight end is an explosive tight end they didn't have. Sammy Watkins is one of the best receivers in the league. We don't talk about him because he's playing a role right now where he spends most of his time drawing coverage away and opening up for Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp, who are both new players as well. So it's not like I mentioned with the Eagles, it's not an easy offense to match up to. They're always going to try and dictate the play. They're always going to be proactive against you unless you've got a really, really good defense.
You could check him out on ESPN's The Nickel Package podcast. He hosts Tuesdays with David Jacoby. You could also see his work at presnapreads.com. Follow him on Twitter at CIANAF. All right, answer these questions for me based on what you've seen in terms of film work. Who's doing the most with the least? You're watching these games and you're saying to yourself, man, this team isn't quite as talented as its record. Who's doing the most with the least?
As in team as a whole or individual?
Well, I want to do teams first. I want to do least and most. I want to do both sides of this.
It's an interesting question, but I think it's an obvious answer for the most because the Jets, everyone thought they were going to go 0-16, and I don't necessarily buy into them being that significantly better than a really bad team. It's just they've won some close games to beat the Chiefs last week, so it has to be the Jets. I don't think there's any even second answer there.
All right, and so then how about the least with the most, where you're looking at it and you're like, this team should be better, but they're being held back?
I'm pretty sure I came on this show last year and you asked me who was doing a great job coaching-wise that no one was talking about, and I said Hugh Jackson, and this year it's the complete opposite. The main reason they are going to be 0-16 is that whole coaching stuff.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad they re-upped him for next year.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. Who is the fastest team in the league?
Probably overall, if you're kind of judging it in fair, where defense is equal to the offense, it's got to be the Seahawks because Paul Richardson, Tyler Lockett, exceptionally quick wide receivers, Russell Wilson, obviously. Doug Baldwin's not exactly slow, and like I talked about in that defensive front, speed everywhere.
Thank you, sir. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Don Le Batard.
Guillermo, put it on the poll. Are you disturbed at all that Stugotz thinks extortion and blackmail are normal business practices?
Stugotz.
It has to drive you crazy because you are smart, you are well thought out, you are reasonable, you are balanced, and I just come in with blackmail, COB.
And they love you more.
Yep, spot on is what they're saying.
I'm so envious. I want their love.
You're not going to get it.
Their love's important to me. I want the love of dumb people.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Sarah Spain is making a mess of this studio right now. She is rattled. Wow. She is flustered. I have no idea what's going on. I have coffee on me.
My lid of my coffee fell off while I was drinking it, and I spilled it all over myself. And then while trying to clean up, I spilled my water that I was using to clean up all over the desk.
Right. You also spilled your microphone.
Yep.
Things are falling around.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was an amazing sequence of dysfunction and fail.
Yeah, I mean, there couldn't be more liquid on the desk given how much liquid was in the cups.
Right.
Like, she maxed out.
And I hit an impressive number of wires. I hit every single possible wire.
Have you noticed, Dan, this is for Dan specifically, how gentle Mike Ryan has been with Sarah during all this?
More gentle.
Had you and I done this?
Yes, Mike Ryan is very maternal about this studio, and if we had done it, we would be getting yelled at. This is sexism. and it's not fair because we would have gotten buried if we'd made this mess in the studio.
Get in touch with the show anytime to the 1-800-Flowers Twitter feed at Le Batard Show, at Stugotz790, at Sarah Spain. It is time for Straight Talk. It is brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Best phones, best networks, no contracts.
Do you guys know who Sarah Paulson is? This is something I had not considered before she brought it to my attention. She is an actress, Jack and Jill, American Gothic, and she
also played Marcia Clark, right?
Did she play Marcia Clark in the OJ? Yeah. And she's got an unusual relationship in that she is 42 years old and she is dating another woman who is 74. And so when they take pictures together on a red carpet and everything, it looks like her mother, or it looks like a grandmother, like she's dating a grandmother. And so this is hard to get your head around for some people who care how and where you get your love. And so what's happening here is she is giving voice to something that I hadn't considered, which is early on, this is quote, early on when people found out I was with her, some said, I think you have to be careful. I'm afraid it's going to affect your career negatively. I was like, what? It had never occurred to me at all. And then she was on the red carpet and she wanted to thank and profess her love for the woman that she loves. And she said, the fact I'm having this thought, should I not? I thought to myself, should I not say that I love her? And then I said, why would I not? The fact that I'm having this thought is wrong. But I had a moment of societal concern, wondering if maybe people who didn't know that about me would be like, wait, what? But then, I did it anyway. My life choices are unconventional. I'm with a much older person, and people find that totally fascinating and odd. And to me, it's the least interesting thing about me. But I do feel a bit unconventional. I'm a woman of a certain age who chose not to have children, who has made my career my priority. I am the captain of my own ship, and I've never looked to anyone else to validate that or tell me it's okay.
Well, and you know her girlfriend. You actually know her. She's an actress. Holland Taylor. She was in Legally Blonde and Ally McBeal and Monk, a bunch of other stuff. I fully admit I try to be incredibly open-minded. I try to be incredibly understanding of wherever love comes and in whatever form. But when I first heard of them dating, and this was over a year ago now, it started to come out when she was doing the rounds for the award shows because of the OJ movie, I was taken aback. I try not to be an ageist, but 70...
Why?
I guess just
if she was dating a 74-year-old man, would you be taken aback?
Still, it would be a little bit different. I think we're more used to seeing that dynamic. For me personally, I've just never been into people that are much, much older than me.
I think we're all surprised when Hugh Jackman is dating a woman who's older, or married to a woman, and professes his love so profoundly. What it makes me do, I don't know if this is fair or not, but what it makes me wonder is, well, what was going on in your childhood with your parents that you're looking for?
Interesting.
That you're looking for a figure that makes you feel loved, that is that much older.
I think there's also a big difference between a 25-year-old and a 50-year-old, and then 40s and 70s, because 70s is quite old. As a sexual being, I don't really know much about women in their 70s and how much they want to get it.
I love
that
70 is old.
Right. That is not the sexual prime for anybody.
No, I mean, you hear about men like, is it Tony Randall, who had kids in his 80s or 90s? I mean, they're still obviously into it. Hugh Hefner, at least occasionally, was still getting it in. But I am just interested how the average 70-year-old woman, how interested is she in that? And 40 is not old. That's, for some women, sort of your sexual prime.
Late 30s, early 40s is a woman's sexual prime by average.
That's interesting to me, the dynamic of wanting to be with and the interaction with someone in her 70s.
You'd never know that with my wife. That is Straight Talk. It is brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless.
It wasn't Straight Talk.
What do you mean?
It was the opposite of Straight Talk.
Well, I mean, she's in her young 40s.
That was the joke. Yeah.
Straight Talk Wireless is brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Nationwide coverage on America's largest and most dependable 4G LTE network.
All right, we don't know where this is going to go exactly, but Stugotz is headed outside. We have got Art Basel here. It is the biggest celebration of art in the United States. Everybody's here. Kanye's here. Leonardo DiCaprio, Wu-Tang. It's a zoo.
I'm here.
Lil Wayne and Drake.
Yeah, everybody is here in Miami, and Stugotz is going to take advantage of this, the art of the deal. What are we settling on here? Stugotz is going to go outside, Ocean and 10th. He has created this art character, Phlegmbrandt. Fraud Monet.
Yep. Which name do you like better?
Stugotz.
She likes Stugotz the best. So he's going to go outside.
You like Fraud Monet, don't you?
I like Fraud Monet, but Phlegmbrandt is pretty good, too. So he's going to go outside and he's going to try and sell art. We are going to check in with him on the street. There are 5 paintings. They're allegedly by Phlegmbrandt, but they're actually by Billy. I think we've revealed that in some way or the other. That's okay.
What are you talking about?
Okay. So anyways, we're going to do all that.
There is a live painting, though.
Yeah, it's a live painting.
Is that done with only phlegm as your art?
I am going to dip my brush into, a bowl of phlegm.
Oh, look, if you're looking at ESPNU right now, art is up. Art is up on 10th and Ocean. It is being displayed. Art Basel is fully functioning.
And a line is forming, people. So I'm telling you, if you want some of this art, get out there, get there now. Yes.
There does appear to be a line out there on 10th and Ocean.
Is that a Venn diagram of people who like art and people who would buy Stugotz's?
All right,
it
here we go.
It shouldn't be connecting in the middle.
We are going to find out together whether Stugotz can sell anything. Art Basel. Artist Stugotz next.
Don Le Batard.
Texter writes in, Stugotz looks homeless today. If I saw him walking down Ocean Drive, I would give him $5.
Stugotz.
Thank you.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Guests on the Dan Le Batard Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line And now your SportsCenter update. The Philadelphia 76ers have traded Jahlil Okafor to the Brooklyn Nets for Trevor Booker.
I'm sorry, Sarah. Look behind you on the camera behind you of Stugotz wearing a scarf and a...
It looks good, actually.
He does. He looks like an artist. He's surrounded by people. There are people in the street. I'm sorry to interrupt you. He just looks like a French artist.
Other than the jeans, he's really selling it.
Yeah. Okay. He's negotiating. He's making moves. We'll check in with him in a second.
Oh, boy. Miami Marlins have traded second baseman Dee Gordon to the Seattle Mariners for 3 prospects and cash. And finally, U.S. beef cattle have ballooned in size, experts say restaurants, grocery stores, and meat processors have had to get creative in how they slice and dice them up. Increasingly, that means thinner steaks, as well as more scrap meat and quote-unquote alternative cuts designed to make the most of a bigger animal. The cattle industry argues that it provides cheaper and more plentiful beef from fewer cattle. But there's emerging evidence that Americans dislike the changes to their steaks, and that could hurt the beef sector in the long run. For all the latest headlines and information, tune into SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
Our thanks to Sarah Spain for making everything around here better on this Friday. We like to have a little more fun than usual on Fridays. So Stugotz is now on the corner of 10th and Ocean. He has got his art display up. He is surrounded by people, all of whom I believe work for us.
Yes, those are all employees.
Okay, those are all people who work for us. They're on the phone. They're moving around diligently. Let's check in with Stugotz now. Stugotz, what kind of report can you give us from the corner of 10th and Ocean where you are being Phlegmbrandt and you are trying to sell some of your art because you believe art is a crock?
Well, these are some of my finest pieces, and it is it's a little warm down here for December, so some of these things are starting to bleed a little bit. Well, I'm a little concerned about that, which brings down the value, of course. So here's the deal. The crowd is starting to form right now, and there are people coming around. I know you can't really see them from where you are right out there, but I promise you that people have driven by. They want the art, and someone has already made an offer on the art. And someone has also made an offer on the Rachel. So I will keep you posted.
What offer? What was the offer? Be specific. We missed offers being made? What do you mean?
I don't want to reveal too much, but I will. Okay, I'll just give you the offer. The offer that was made for art, okay, was $50. That gentleman is coming back here in a couple of minutes. And what I told him was, hey, hopefully it's still here when you get back here. But he has made a $50 offer on art, and someone has made a $25 offer on Rachel. So right now, at the very least, I got $75. And someone just drove by and they waved to me. So they're fans of the show, and they're going to get a piece of art. They just don't know that they're paying for it. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Stugotz, which one is the Rachel? Is that the 2 circles?
It's the house. It's the house. The Rachel is the house.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's the house where it's me, my wife, and my other daughter holding hands, and Rachel, because she's earned this, she's just kind of off to the side. She's not a good girl. So
wait a minute, that's up for interpretation. That's not what you were doing. That's the way you interpret it.
That's how I interpret it, but of course, art is in the eye of the beholder, and so you can interpret it however you want. I mean, I'm not going to tell you how to interpret it. That's just what I had. That's what I was thinking when I actually put that piece together.
All right. Can I talk to Billy for a second, real quick? Billy's there. He's handling things. Okay. I want to talk to Billy for just a second. Do you mind that? Do you mind?
No, I don't mind it at all. Billy, they would like to talk to you. I'd like to sell my art. So how do you want to do this? I'm going to
just for a second. Just for a second, I want to talk to Guillermo.
All right, hold on.
Guillermo,
all right, hold on a second.
Guillermo, can you give us an honest appraisal, please?
Hello?
I don't believe anything Stugotz just said. Can you give us an honest appraisal of everything that's going down there real quick?
It's very windy. Art is already falling. The people that are helping us. Sorry, the pieces are falling everywhere, falling on people.
All right, go ahead. Hold on. All right, so Stugotz, give the phone back to Stugotz so he can negotiate. Thank you for all your contributions. That's $2 when you get back. All right, Billy, $2. You go ahead and put that in the bucket when you get back.
I was fine for something.
All right.
As a woman, I think I'm allowed to say that no one's paying attention to the art right now.
Oh, because we've got...
so hold on, guys.
Got an onlooker.
The Clevelander bartender was down there. Okay.
No. We have a line that's starting to form right now, and momentum is really gaining here. So I have a gentleman. What is your name, sir?
My name's Brendan.
All right, so we have Brendan here, and Brendan is checking out the exhibit right now as we speak. Is there a particular... It is a phenomenal. I appreciate that. Some of my finest work. Is there a particular piece here that might interest you? It is Art Basel week, and I promise you, whatever I'm selling these for, you're not going to find art as good as this for as cheap as this anywhere on the beach. Yeah? So what do you want? Which one interests you the most? I have this one. I have the art. That's called art right there. Yeah. The devil wearing the green jacket. Yeah, it almost looks like Art Basel. You're right. But I'll leave that. Listen, that's your interpretation of it. That's not mine, but that's fine. The gentleman next to you has already made me a $50 offer on Art. So if you want to, I hate to do this in front of you, sir, but if you want to offer more than 50, feel free to go ahead. I'll start a bidding war right now.
Yes, a bidding war.
That Art Basel is speaking to me.
Yeah, so let me also explain this one. This is the piece that I am proudest of. It's called Empty. Okay? We just call it Empty. And what it is
emptiness
formerly
before.
called Emptiness.
It was emptiness before.
It was emptiness before, but now I call it Empty. Okay? So it's empty. So really what I allow you to do with this piece is I let you fill it in. First off, you got to unwrap it. And then secondly, what I do is I allow you to fill it in however you want to fill it in. Okay? That is artwork. It's deep, right? It's deep. It's deep. It's whatever you want it to be. It's amazing. Beautiful. So what do you think, $100 for that?
Art Basel is speaking to me. I don't know.
The art is speaking
to him. We don't know if it's Art Basel.
What do you call the Happy Family?
The Happy Family, that's called the Rachel. Okay? And so you can interpret that however you want. When I was putting that together, I was thinking that my daughter...
Stugotz, get some money. Stugotz, get some money.
I was thinking my daughter, she's a nuisance, okay? And so I was thinking, like, she has kind of separated herself from the rest of the family. But you could also interpret it as
come up with the therapist in a few
she's
years.
kind of flying on her own, you know? She's matured. She's flying on her own. It's called the Rachel. So that's me. That's my wife. That's my daughter, Emma. And that's Rachel.
Sell something!
Yeah. So what do you think? You want $20 for that, you think?
Have we lost communique with the artist?
Still, that Art Basel. Is it 20 yet?
Oh, yeah. That is a blue and yellow circle. Now, you might think that they're circles, but they're not. Okay? So, I mean, it's blue and it's yellow. But what you really need to do, the inspiration behind that was, besides the fact that I'm a huge fan of sports and I like balls and I like circles and things that are circle, what I really wanted you to focus on is there is with the blue, right?
We vastly
and the yellow
overestimated
balls,
his sales ability.
Deep inside of it and see whatever it is you want to see.
No.
Okay? I see a sun, I see a body of water, and then I see a little green melon there. But maybe you see something differently, and that's up to you.
Melon?
You know, and that's the beauty. That's the beauty. Right? Yeah, that's the beauty of art. Yeah.
All right,
so
you've gone to that move enough, Stugotz. Enough with.
All right, wait. I have an offer. Hold on. I have a $70 offer right now on art. A $70 offer on art. Anyone want to go higher than $70 on art? Yeah. Plus, those are some. I don't know if you guys saw these, but these are just like $15, $20 pieces here. That's. Again,
who are these three people around him?
Oh, wow. The narwhal just sold. Hold on, everyone.
The narwhal?
Sir, you look like an art fan.
What do you mean the narwhal? Where's there a narwhal?
The narwhal just sold for $20. The art just sold for $70. Okay?
For more than 20?
Sir, listen, I am Phlegmbrandt. I am one of the most renowned artists down here on the beach. And it is Art Basel. And so I am selling some of my finest pieces here. We have a $20 offer right now on the narwhal, and we have a $70 offer on, I call that art. That's
okay,
art.
One of those three guys is just the security guard.
I appreciate your conversation.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That'll be $5.
Are you interested in a piece?
I don't have no wall space.
Oh, no, you can't listen. You want to listen for free. You can't listen for free.
Kick him out of the gallery. Kick him. All right, Phlegmbrandt, kick him out of your gallery. Right. Have security kick him out of your gallery if he's just here to listen.
I mean, Dan, the guy thinks I'm doing this for free. He wanted to listen. He wanted to sit in and listen to this conversation for free. I thought it was $5 to listen. So,
but he's still there.
$20 right now for which one? Narwhal. All right, the narwhal is about to sell for $20.
Where was there a narwhal? We didn't discuss the narwhal.
The narwhal is selling for $24, okay? $24?
Is that a
$24. I just got an extra $4 out of him. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. Oh, we don't have change. We'll get back to you. Just give Billy your address and everything.
We'll get back to you.
I can't give it to you without the 220s. Bill, get his address and send him $16 change when you get a chance, okay?
We don't have change. What kind of business you running down there?
We don't have change. Stay right here. What's your name, sir? Brett, thank you very much for buying the narwhal. It's one of my favorite pieces. Enjoy it. Put it somewhere special in the house. And,
all right, what are we going to do here, Mike? We're going to come back to him here in the next segment to find out how much money that he made, or are we going to stay with him here?
This may be dying on the vine, but let's give it one more commercial break to see if it can gather more steam. And if it's not good, we'll bail on it.
Okay. All right. We don't know where it is right now. There is a crowd around him. What is a success? What is the success?
Well,
he said $1,200.
He said $1,200 was his quota.
He's got some work to do.
Yeah.
Okay, some work yet to be done. We'll see what he does during the break and come back after this.
Dan Le Batard.
How has ESPN allowed this?
Stugotz.
They're talking sports, going at it as hard as they can.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Somebody is hitting us and specifically Mike Ryan where it hurts by writing in, this idea is worse than your Gronk Family Feud segment. I don't agree with you. Stugotz right now, Phlegmbrandt is on the street painting, live painting, and that's what's lured a crowd. Give us a play-by-play, Stugotz, on what's going on with you. What's been going on during the break here?
I just am putting the finishing touches on my live painting here. It is it's a zero next to a sack. I call it the J.J. Watt. And so I'm just putting the final touches on that. And then I might get into, if we have some time here, I might do what I call the KD. It's just an easy pass. So I'm working on that one as well. But Dan, this is very exciting because there's a big crowd forming here. And I have a $120 bid right now for art. I also have bids on some of the other pieces as well. So there are a bunch of people out here. This is fantastic. They're realizing that they're not going to get art this good anywhere on the beach this week, and they're getting it from a renowned artist, Stugotz. So here's the deal. We have $220 bids.
So we're together.
Oh, you guys are together. Okay, so we have a $100 bid and a $120 bid on art. Do you want to go higher than 120?
Higher.
He's going higher than 120. How much higher than 120? We have a $140 bid on art. $150 on art. $200 on art. We have $200 on art. Do I hear 210? $300.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Here we go.
For art.
Hey,
For
exceeded
art.
my expectations already.
I told you. Art.
$350 for art. $350 right now.
This girl's
for
just
art.
taking photos.
One of
She
the
has no
guys-
idea what's happening.
Well, one of the guys who's bid is now questioning whether the guy who just bid $350 has enough money to pay for it. Which
You
is
take
just
credit
now
cards,
talking
Stu?
trash. $360 we just got offered for art. $370. $400
Oh, for
for
the love
art.
of God, this has turned into a total insanity.
$420 for art. $450 for art.
We underestimated him.
Stu, do you
Sarah.
take credit card?
$450. $460 for art.
And I'm telling you, if we put that on, if we auction that off to the audience, we'd get $20,000
Yeah,
for it. I'm not even
probably.
kidding you.
We might.
I'm not even kidding
Listen,
you.
Dan is up. I'm talking to Dan right now, and he's right. He's with Sarah Spain, and he's saying if we put this out to the audience on Twitter, someone would offer like $20,000 for this. I'm not saying you guys have to do that, but someone would. So,
They gotta be here.
okay, I know, but I'm just saying. So what's the final? What's the last offer right now? All right, so we're at $465. We're up to $470.
Stugotz, you got COB at the end of this segment. You got nothing. You got to close up the business. You got 4 minutes to finish this up.
Where are we at?
You got 4 minutes. To
$535 for art.
Stu, you got
500. I gotta be honest with you, it's a steal. I mean, I'm giving it away. I am giving art away.
Stu, do you think you can get anybody up to $1,000 in the next 4 minutes?
You want this?
Would it be possible? Listen, here's the deal, guys. Okay,
This is Dominique.
we'll give that to you for $5. Jeff.
The
Here's
buy
deal.
it now price.
Here's the deal. I will let you guys. If someone here has $1,000, not only will I give you art, I will throw in Rachel. I will throw in the J.J. Watt. I will throw in empty. I will throw these things in.
I'm giving them all away for one.
For $1,000. All right. J.J. Watt is sold for $100. Forget it. All right. No, Bill. I'm going to take care of this. JJ, and you're still in on the
He's
art.
selling things twice.
What's
You
the
can't.
bid on
Yes,
the art?
of course he is. Of course he is.
$535 on art.
Maybe we can just get a
535 on art.
mimeograph of the J.J.
540?
Watt.
$540 on art.
Stugotz,
What'd you say, Dan?
you have another canvas down there. You could draw another art real quick, and you could sell that, and you could double your profits if you've got another canvas down there.
Listen to me. Here's what I'll do, okay? You guys both clearly want art, and I understand that. What I'm going to do,
Make another art.
I'm going to make another art live for you here. So, but we need to establish a price.
Make it out of
okay?
empty.
All right, so we got 50
Make it
on
out of
Rachel.
emptiness.
Turn empty into art.
Take emptiness and turn it into art, Stugotz. That's the symbol.
That's a great. Dan just made a great suggestion. I'm going to sell someone emptiness for $1,000, and you could turn it into art.
No, you turn
it into art.
He's even giving off the work here.
Oh, man.
He's even outsourcing the work
That should
here.
be the tagline on his website. I make empty into art.
I'm going to get both of you art. Okay, I am going to draw art right now for you. Okay, so both of you will get it. How much are we? How much?
Shouldn't be too tough, right? Because he did it the first time.
You got 2 minutes.
That speaks everything because this is a one of a kind art. But if
You're right, but that's the original. So how much for the original?
Cheapening his work.
I really just want to see him attempt to redraw art since everyone knows he didn't do that.
Yes,
that was someone else's work.
540. 550. We got to wrap this up. We got 2 minutes. How much? 555. 560.
Oh, for the love of God.
575. 6.
Oh my God.
Is this these people's college funds? What's happening?
What is happening here?
600. 620. 620. 620 going once. 620 going twice. 620.
Everyone signs it.
Everyone signs it. So 620.
Did you just promise your autograph, Dan?
I'm not signing anything.
I'll take the watch for 100.
All right, so
I'll take the circle one.
all right, so the JJ watch is sold for 100.
Yeah.
All right, close it up, Stugotz. We'll figure out. We'll do the math when you get back up here. We'll figure out what you sold when you get back up here in a little while. Close
I
this
sold
out.
everything. I made a killing. Yeah.
Wait,
All right.
did you sell the circles yet?
No.
Or what do you call those triangle circles?
Yes.
I'll give you 20 for that.
Oh, we just got another $20 for some circles. This
What are
is
some
fantastic.
triangle
25,
circles?
25, 30.
Oh,
40.
bidding war on the circles now.
If he doesn't come up here with wads of cash, I feel like he's going to close up shop.
But he's going to come up here with
how much?
wads of cash.
Stu, you better collect.
I was going to say, do
He's up to
you
40
take
though.
credit card, or are we expecting these people to have $600 cash?
20 right here. Boom. Yours. Okay. 40 for the circles.
This is
50 for the
unbelievable.
circles. Oh, 50 for Rachel. Yes. Oh, my daughter for $50. Woo!
I want the wad, but I need a small.
Wait a minute.
I need a Stugotz signature.
The real Rachel. You get the real Rachel. You get my real daughter.
Oh, boy. Okay, things got weird.
Here? I mean, honestly.
All right.
What is going on? Stinks down here. It's Art Basel, not Fart Basel.
It stinks down here? Did he accuse one of his customers of being gassy?
Yeah. And then he said,
right.
it's not Fart Basil.
Yeah.
All right, Phlegmbrandt. Good talking to you. We'll count up your money when you get back up here.